This is the Davis and Beetle Podcast.
How you doing? Jim Davis along with Curtis Beetleman. Beetle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Another day in the neighborhood. Got the kids off to school last week, so just trying to keep up with them now.
Okay, what's the most glorious thing about them being back in school?
Oh, it's quiet during the day. I can actually do work.
Quiet? Okay, that's good.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, I get to eat whatever snacks I want because they're not here. So that's awesome.
So you can raid their snack supply, right? Yeah. And so you don't have to, Dad, what are you doing? Dad, don't eat my Cheetos. Exactly. Good.
When they're there, you feel guilty. Like, I shouldn't eat that because, they're going to want it. But when they're not there, they don't even know. They don't know the difference.
See, there will come a day, okay, trust me, that day will come. You go, I pay for this. Tough crap. I pay for this. I get first dibs on this stuff, okay? I get first crack at it. So, too bad.
They get mad at me now. Yeah. Yeah. They get mad at me now because I make them pay a dad tax whenever they have candy or ice cream or anything like that. I'm like, oh, dad tax, bring it over here. Let me have some. So they get pissed at me now for that.
You are the one that goes out, you and Stacy, you pay for these fine snacks. I think it's only fitting that you get your taste of it, right? I think it's only fair. Teach them a valuable lesson about taxation, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's you try to teach them that, this is how life works. But they don't believe you, even though life is far harder than that. But, they don't believe you. So it is
little steps. Yeah, little steps in the education of your boys. I think you're doing a fine job putting them on the right path with the dad tax. So let's first talk about the Field of Dreams from last week. We spent a lot of time on our program Friday talking about the White Sox and the Yankees. Kevin Costner's there. It's Dyersville, Iowa. It's just they built the stadium, just like about a half an acre away from where they filmed the movie Field of Dreams in Dyersville, Iowa. And the game, obviously, Tim Anderson lived up to the hype with the walk-off home run for the White Sox to get the 9-8 win. Aaron Judge mashing it into the corn, a little corn mash there. A couple of bombs for the Yankees. I thought the setting was great. And I know some national guys like Jim Rome were just crapping all over it. Just crapping all over the Field of Dreams game. And they're doing a game based on a stupid movie and blah, blah, blah. Look, call me a sucker. And in this day and age, I appreciate comfort food, comfort sports more than I ever have. And that's kind of how I viewed the Field of Dreams game was. It was kind of comfort sports food for the soul, watching that game and watching them come out of the corn and everything.
Yeah, I couldn't decide beforehand whether I was into this or not. I was like, how dare you commercialize my already commercialized nostalgia?
Exactly. How dare you, sir? How dare you, Rob Manfred?
So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this or not. And it grew on me as it went on. The opening with Kevin Costner was pretty awesome. That was good.
Actually, here's the complaint. Here's the complaint that Kim and I had, though. We had one complaint about how it opened. What was Costner with the looking at the ball and looking around? It was like just walk out there, have them walk out behind you and just do it. It was like, do we need to see Kevin Costner try to act? I don't think we needed to do that. I think we were okay, but I mean the rest of it was fantastic though. That's my only part where I kind of crap on a little bit.
Yeah, there was a high level of cheese involved with some of it.
But it was great though. But that was great.
I'll tell you what, as the game went on, I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. Like it grew on me. I was a little pissed that they picked the Yankees because I was like, ugh, how cliche to take the Yankees. Like, I don't like this. But then it's like, well, you had a villain, so that
sure,
was fun.
There you go. You're rooting for the White Sox. Yeah, you want them to take down the Yankees. Yeah. Though it's hard. It's hard for
death ending. So
yeah, it's hard for me to root against DJ LeMahieu, though. There's still that, I still have that soft spot for DJ, but yeah.
I'm over it.
Screw that guy. He plays for the Yankees now. But I thought how the field looked. I could have done without the video board right out in left field. I could have lived without that. I mean, it to me kind of cut into the nostalgia part of it. But they had, the uniforms like Ray Liotta, who, by the way, should have never played Shoeless Joe Jackson because he.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's terrible as Shoeless Joe Jackson. He was horrible.
He was awesome. What are you talking about?
Shoeless Joe Jackson wasn't from the Bronx. Yeah, I told that guy to screw that guy. He was from Georgia, dude. He was a Southern boy.
It was already a fake movie, Jim.
Well, damn it, at least try, Ray Liotta. At least try to. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. How you doing? Okay, but no, but the uniforms, they had the old school White Sox uniforms like Ray Liotta, Shoeless Joe Jackson wore, and I thought it was great. And one of the things that I kind of established is here are parameters for this game going forward. Okay, because they're going to do it in 2022. Looks like it's going to be the Cubs and the Reds, and that falls into what I said. Whoever plays in this game, one team has to be a Midwest team. It's an automatic. It's got to be. It's got to be, the Cardinals. It's got to be the Cubs or the White Sox or the Reds or the artists formerly known as the Cleveland Indians. Maybe they could wear the Cleveland Spiders uniforms instead of wearing Indians uniforms. And then, look, I love the Colorado Rockies. Rockies should never play in it. Marlins should never play in it. Rays should never play in it. I'm fine with the Dodgers and Giants. Because they're not, to me, it's not the nostalgia of it. It's supposed to be old school 20s, 30s, 40s baseball. And you're going to settle down because I'm going to make you happier. The Dodgers should play in it. What's that? What's that?
I lost you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I said you're gonna fix this.
No, I'm saying that like the Dodgers and Giants, Dodgers wear the Brooklyn uniforms. Giants wear the New York uniforms, and that's how they can play in the game. Red Sox should be in it. I just think some of the newer franchises, it doesn't fit the tone of the game. And they don't have old school, cool retro uniforms. I mean, I just think it should always be it needs to be a historic team like the Yankees against always one of the Midwest teams. And they should do it, and they should do it once every 3 years. Rotation with playing at Williamsport, Little League World Series, Cooperstown, and then the Field of Dreams. So it's not every single year, which I think that becomes a bit fatiguing. I think you rotate it through those three things once every year. Well,
yeah, I mean, I think there's some good ideas there.
Good ideas. I think there's some great ideas there. Come on, what do you mean good ideas? Those are great ideas.
You can dress the Rockies in retro uniforms. Just because they didn't have them historically doesn't mean you can't put them in retro unis. I mean, they do that all the time. They went with futuristic uniforms, and they don't have a future. So
Shut up. That's mean. True, but mean. Maybe if you're the Rockies, you are. I don't know what one of the what the independent teams would have been back in the day. Back, in the early days of Colorado, back in the 20s, 30s, whatever. Maybe you do that. But I just think that, this should not be a game that everybody gets to play in. Go play in the Hall of Fame game. Go play at Williamsport. Those are fine. This game needs to be Midwest centric, old school, 30s, 40s, 50s kind of tone vibe to the game.
Here's what I think worked about the whole thing in the end. I was skeptical of it. I think a lot of people were. They didn't know what it was going to be like, but here's what worked. In the end, I think the best thing that happened through all of this was they celebrated the culture of baseball.
Yes.
Not the game, not the stats, not the history, because let's be honest, the Field of Dreams is, what is it, 25 years old? And
it's 30.
It was never real. God, I'm old. Okay. But either
30
way,
years old, yeah.
It's not as though that's been there since the 40s. It just hasn't. So, it was the fact that they celebrated just the whole kind of national culture of the game. And if they can repeat that no matter where they do it, and I'm with you, I think they should do it in some other places. I think they should celebrate the old Negro Leagues in some form or fashion. I think
go to Kansas City and do that.
I think that they should play in some smaller stadiums so it's more intimate, so it's something different, that it brings it to the public in a different way. I think they should play in front of more kids, like where they have a kids night sort of deal where that's the only fans that are there, and you're signing autographs and you're sitting in the seats with them and stuff like that. I think that would be amazing.
And that's where Williamsport would be. Culture. Well, Williamsport Little League World Series, that would be a fantastic, idea for that.
Yeah. So I think that's where they have opened a can of worms that they can kind of look at and say, all right, what else can we do and how else can we spread this around? Because it went off, exceedingly well by all accounts. The ratings were high. People enjoyed it. Yes, there's always going to be some naysayers. Of course, you'll swing and miss on a few things. It'll be a little cheesy here and there, but that's what I think people enjoyed the most was the fact that it was something different in a 162 game schedule where all you ever get is the All-Star break, which has become so overhyped with the way they go about it. I'm not saying that the All-Star game and the All-Star break's a bad deal. It's become so much of a commercialized, overhyped kind of event. You can't get into it. That is not for the everyman. I'm sorry. It costs thousands of dollars to go and participate in some of that stuff. So they found a way, I think, to bring a different view and to bring it to the public in a different manner. I think a lot of people watched that game. They could give a crap about the Yankees and the White Sox, but they watched it anyway because it was different and they liked the way it was presented. So that's where they nailed it, and that's what they have to kind of capitalize on again in some way.
All right, let's talk about the team that you crapped on earlier. That would be my beloved Colorado Rockies. Thank you very much. Which, okay, sometimes they deserve being crapped on, but they come off the road trip 1-5. They get back home. They take on San Diego. They nearly they nearly grabbed defeat out of the jaws of victory last night after blowing up 5-2 lead, and thanks to C.J. Cron hitting a home run, so they beat the Padres. And here's an interesting number, a couple of interesting numbers. Do you know which team has the best home batting average in all of baseball?
I'm guessing the Rockies, but I don't know.
285. 285. Yeah. You know which team has the worst road batting average?
Yes, the other side of the Rockies coin.
This is me auditioning for Jeopardy. They don't need to have that one guy. I'll host Jeopardy. But 209, and then they get their 11th walk-off win last night, but they've been shut out 15 times. It's not even fair to say they're Jekyll and Hyde. Is there something beyond Jekyll and Hyde? Because it is such a bizarre baseball team to watch. They're one of the best teams in baseball at home. But on the road, they're an absolute dumpster fire. And they can't hit on the road. It's not their pitching. They're pitching well. I mean, the bullpen occasionally still is the bullpen, but their starting pitching's been really good. I mean, last night, Cincinnati at home pitched great. And they found a way to give him a no decision last night. So it's maddening. And we talked about it a little bit today. We had one of a listener call in about this. I don't know what you do to fix this, because Charlie Blackmon tried that where he took extra batting practice when they were on the road to try to adjust to sea level, to adjust to the lower elevation and things like that. It really hasn't. It never really took off and hasn't really worked. How do you ever solve that? I don't know if you can ever really truly solve that problem, because it's like they're the big league Rockies at home. And then it's like they send out Asheville to play on the road. I mean, it's like let's keep all the big league guys at home. Asheville, you guys are going to go out and play for us on the road. It's that kind of weird disparity that I don't know how you fix that problem offensively on the road.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think it's almost become like the placebo effect, so to speak. Like if we tell you that there's going to be an issue, then there'll be an issue, right? When you hit the road. So they've ad nauseum for the past 25 years tried to figure out how to adjust, how to change things, how to deal with the mental side of at home versus on the road. And it almost becomes to the point where, if you're a player or you're somebody in that organization, you just believe that that's a huge problem and a huge effect. And when you believe those things, you have a tendency to make them come to fruition. So they've certainly done that this year. What's remarkable is their pitching numbers are pretty fantastic at home as far as Rocky history is concerned. And it should be the other way, right? Like if the effect happens for the offense where they're great at home and terrible on the road, it should be the other way for the pitching and defense. And it's not this year. And that's what's weird for this team, is because you expect them to perform a little better on the mound on the road, and they just haven't. They've been much better at home and more consistent at home, which is really odd. So I don't know. I feel like a lot of times you just as a club, as an organization, you decide that's the hurdle that's stopping you, and you address it too much, and it becomes the monster in the room, so to speak. And from my perspective, I mean, I've grown up playing at altitude for my entire life, playing and coaching, and I don't even really think about it that much. I have played at sea level too, plenty, and it can be a different game at times, but really the secret to winning baseball games has never changed, and that is to throw strikes, to put the ball in play, and make the plays that are hit to you, the plays in front of you, make less errors. And it's pretty simple from that side of things. It doesn't have anything to do with whether you're on the road or not. If you make more plays and you put the ball in play better than the other team, you're going to probably win more games than you lose. And that's just, to me, you're adding an element as a club that gives you some sort of handicap, some sort of crutch. As soon as you hit the road, you think something different, and you can't go about baseball that way. It doesn't work. It's a game that's played over a long period of time, obviously over 162 games, and there's lots of ups and downs, and you just got to keep grinding and keep doing what you do and not worry about that stuff. But it seems like that has been something for the last few years now that as an organization, they've really paid too much attention to, and they've given players and coaches and managers and everybody a reason to think that it's a problem that they have to fix. And you can't fix it. You got to play at home and on the road. So just keep playing, keep coaching, and keep doing the things that you do that make you a good ball club. And the bumps in the road will even out eventually. Hope, that's the hope, right? That's what everybody else tries to do. They try to keep good talent coming through their system and even out the highs and lows. And if they're able to do that, then you're probably going to be a contender when it's all said and done. So I don't know. It's a mental block as much as anything to me.
Well, I just know this much, that the Rockies are not like the Dodgers, the New York Yankees of baseball, according to Alex Rodriguez. Do you catch that statement that he made?
No, I missed that one.
A-Rod was doing the game the other night, and he talks about how the Dodgers have spent a lot of money and, going out and getting free agents. And he goes, yeah, they're doing like what the Yankees used to do. They're the New York Yankees of baseball. And I'm kind of going, well, no, the New York Yankees are the New York Yankees of baseball. The Dodgers spend more money. They're more active in getting free agents like the Yankees used to be. It's like, hey, Rod, you played there. It was the most bizarre statement. I mean, I kind of got where he was going, but it was like, what the hell are you talking about, man?
I have a hard time listening to him. I don't think he does a very good job.
I love John Schmaltz. Give me more Joe Buck and John Schmaltz. I take those guys going every single game. Okay, let's flip over to football. It is a sad day today because Tim Tebow released by Jacksonville. Nobody saw this coming, right? Nobody thought that Tim wouldn't make the Jags, right? I'm kidding, of course. There's no. I'm surprised they cut him on this one. I thought they'd cut him like on the second cut because they'd give him, we'll give him one more game, and we'll take one more look at him. But when he didn't play a single snap on special teams against the Browns, I'm going, that guy's done. If he's not playing on special teams, he's done.
It was a former college coach and friend saying, "Sure, we'll give you a shot. Why not?" And that was it. I think it's funny how much attention he still garners, because I mean the guy, he's, especially in football years, I mean he's no longer a very young body, no matter how ripped he is. And geez, the guy looks huge, but you know, he just isn't. He doesn't possess the same skills that he did how many ever years ago when he was trying to will the Broncos to victory, which was an amazing and fun time. But those days are gone. So
you see some of those sweet blocks he was trying to throw. Good Lord. I mean, you're asking a guy that's over 30 years old, who hasn't played in the league in years, to play a new position, to go out and do something he's never done. Go out and block.
Yeah.
And as a tight end, you have to be able to do that. You have to be willing to engage contact. And you could just watch. You could see him. It's like, I'm not so sure about this. I don't know if this is a great idea or not. And so, yeah, I just, like we said on the show, super good guy, you know, philanthropist. I think he's developed into a really good college football analyst. I think he's a hell of a guy. Just because there's a lot of really great guys out there, that doesn't mean that they deserve a job in the NFL just because they're really good guys. I
would say that too. Like there's a million guys. I shouldn't say a million. There's a lot of guys in the NFL that get chances based on the networking that they've done over the years. So he's no different. It's just that he brings with him this level of attention that, you know, it gets old after a while for, I think, a lot of players, and it's not really, you know, something that he's asking for. It just happens that way.
Him.
You know, it just follows him, and you know, I don't think he turns it away. Don't get me wrong. I think he's still got a little bit of pride in himself and wanting the spotlight and things like that. But you know, there's a lot of guys that got that same chance, and I found it interesting to listen to a lot of players out there complain about the fact that, well, he's getting a chance. How come I don't get a chance? Like, well, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I am saying, is this the chance that you really want? Because everybody knew that this was a, you know, token here.
It's a joke.
Come give it a try because we like you and we have a former relationship together, him and Urban Meyer, and it wasn't going to last. So is that the chance that you want? Is that the one that you're complaining for? Like, you really want that 1 week tryout and to be cut and let go and just given a token, hey, we like you, here's your token shot. Is that what you really want? And the answer to that question is no, that isn't what they want. But they want to complain about it because he got his 1 week shot, and he got roasted for it. I mean, the guy got roasted on Twitter for his blocking, which fine, that's comes with the territory. But the people that were complaining that they didn't get a shot, really, that's what you want? That's how you want to be treated? I don't think so. Come on.
All right, wrap it up here with the Broncos score the most preseason points they've scored in a preseason game. This is one of those meaningless stats, but we'll roll it out there anyway. Since 1988, when they scored 40 against the LA Rams, they go into Minnesota, and like Minnesota didn't play hardly any of their starters. I mean, Kirk Cousins didn't play. Jake Browning and Kellen Mond got a chance at the quarterback spot. But I thought both Bronco quarterbacks, I mean, just going on improvement in footwork and accuracy, Drew Lock looked really good. Teddy Bridgewater looked really good. Levante Williams out of North Carolina, I thought he ran the hell out of the football. I thought their offensive line, which didn't have all their starters up front, I thought it played really, really well. You know, PS2, Patrick Surtain, you know, living up to, you know, all the expectations, at least in this first preseason game. And look, it's a preseason game. Let's not get carried away. But I thought overall the Broncos looked pretty good the way they played against Minnesota.
Yeah, I thought they looked great. And we all know that there's absolutely nothing to be gained from whether you won or lost a preseason game. That's not the object of those games. It's dumbed down defensive packages. It's dumbed down offensive packages. What you want to see is, do we look the part? Do we pass the eyeball test? Do the athletes that we put on the field look as good or better and as big or stronger as the athletes on the other side of the field? And the answer to all those questions was absolutely yes. Yeah. They looked great. You mentioned Surtain. I mean, he looked the part. That guy's an NFL cornerback right now, and he looks like he has been there for 5 years. Yeah. Like, he looked the part. And so those are the things that you're looking for is the communication there for the quarterbacks and the coaching staff? Do they look like they know what they're doing? Is it efficient? Is it are they in control and in charge of what they're doing? And the answer was yes. They looked great doing it. And so, obviously there's still a long way to go. And there's a lot to be asked about these quarterbacks still, and who's going to be the guy, who's going to be the one that takes control and can move this offense. And if it doesn't really matter to anybody at this point, I don't think, which one it is, as long as they can put some points on the board. So they did that. First test was passed, and they looked great doing it. Hopefully they can continue, and you hope that there's a light at the end of the tunnel for this team, because it didn't look like there was 6-7 months ago. It looked like starting over again, but perhaps that was a little premature. We'll see. They certainly have the tools on offense, and they certainly have an improved and fast defense. Man, that defense looked fast, and it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch the Broncos in a preseason game. Usually you're just like, I'll watch it because I haven't seen football for a while, and let's see what they look like. But it was fun to watch them.
And I think if you're George Payton, to kind of wrap it up here, you have to be thrilled with the guys you drafted. Patrick Surtain Jr., Levante Williams, Cade Stearns, guys that Quinn Miners, guys that he drafted were guys that played a lot on Saturday, started and/or played a lot, and having an immediate impact on this football team. And then you go back to last year, guys that were drafted previously, even though Dalton Reisner didn't play because of the knee, but Reisner. And we're finally getting a chance to see Justin Sternad play quite a bit. And it looks like that he could be their answer at inside linebacker in terms of a coverage guy to hopefully find a way to neutralize Darren Waller and Travis Kelce in the division. There's a lot of things, a lot of young talent that you have to feel really good about. And I just, like I said, I'm not ready. I'm not making confetti with the shredder, for the Super Bowl parade. Because a lot of Bronco fans are just losing their shit over it on Saturday. It's like, guys, settle down, settle down. It's one preseason game. Holy crow, calm down. But there are a lot of things I think to really be excited about. Now we'll see what happens with Seattle coming up on Saturday. Hey, Beetle, always appreciate it, man. I'll talk to you next week.
Sounds like a plan. Talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
This is the Davis and Beetle Podcast.